What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the At 2000 Training Podcast. And today we are talking about the value of strength training and how every high school athlete should be incorporating some kind of fundamental strength training into their weekly routine. And to me, I think it's crucial for high school coaches to begin to incorporate some kind of fundamental movement into their weekly routine. Because what tends to happen is a lot of these athletes go through their high school rowing career, they enter the college rowing landscape, and they walk into the weight room for the first time and they have no idea how to perform very, very fundamental movements. And what tends to happen, and a lot of college coaches can attest to this, is they're in the setting of 40 athletes with very few strength coaches. They're performing these movements, and all of a sudden they're walking into the boathouse the next day and they have some kind of injury that they sustained from being in the weight room and not being properly prepped to be able to handle that kind of workload. And I don't believe this is necessarily entirely on the college coaching and the landscape or in the platform that's provided at the college level. I think that there should be an expectation that that kids who want to row at the collegiate level should have the capacity to perform fundamental foundational strength training movements, being able to perform a proper squat, a proper hinge, pushes and pulls, so that they have this athletic foundation that can set them up for long-term success. Because when they do get to the college level, they will fall through the cracks or potentially put themselves in a compromised position where they can get hurt, and they won't be participating in the winter where they won't get fit, and then they may not be in a boat in the spring, whatever it may be. There's a lot of those different scenarios that I'm sure a lot of coaches have seen at the college level. So again, I think it's crucial for high school coaches to be able to be, I think it's crucial for high school coaches to incorporate some kind of strength training, fundamental strength training into their weekly routine at the high school level to give these kids the foundation that sets them up for long-term success. Now, if you're an athlete and you're trying to incorporate some kind of strength training, here's why I think it's very, very important. Not only is it helpful from a performance standpoint, the ability to improve force output, deliver a harder or a faster stroke. Obviously, there's very, very good benefits to being stronger as it relates to performance in rowing. But also, more importantly, athletic movements. Again, I say this all the time, but we are athletes first, rowers second. And when we are 100% siloed to the boat or the erg, we are not taking the time to learn how to do very, very fundamental movements that athletes in other sports like a basketball or soccer or football may be just doing in their natural sport practice. We don't have that luxury where our sport is challenging us in different ways. So just overall athleticism, range of motion, mobility, a lot of that can be assisted by incorporating fundamental movement into your weekly routine, whether you're dedicating half a session to skill breakdown on hinges or squats or pushes and pulls, taking the time in the winter and carrying it into the spring so that these athletes are better positioned for long-term success. Now, the last one that I think is the most important is durability. The ability for your body to withstand the workload that comes from a competitive high school spring season, hard winter training, or as they get into the college level where every stroke has higher and higher stakes. It's very, very important for them to have this athletic foundation that can help guide them moving forward, to be structurally sound so that their body can withstand the workload that they're going to be seeing at the next level. That's very important. And you can help them by, again, introducing these routines early into their high school career. And it's only going to set them up for long-term success in the rest of their high school career, and more important, and especially when they get to the college level, if they decide to pursue college rowing or whatever athletic movement. Because once you have these tools, once you have these skills, these foundational movements, once you know how to do them with competency, you have them for life. And that's an amazing thing, because a lot of athletes go through their entire life and they're 45, 60 years old and they have no idea how to perform a squat. They have no idea how to perform a hinge. And this is fact, right? I know because I work with athletes of all ages. So give these kids that skill set early in their high school career. Now, a couple things with weight training that I think are very important to discuss. We are endurance athletes first. We do not have to be in the weight room 4 to 6 times per week. We're endurance athletes first. Priority should be in performing the rowing stroke, rowing specific fitness on the erg or on the water, cross training to continue to build the aerobic engine. But in no way should that mean that we don't have time to integrate some strength training into our routine. 2 sessions, I think, is a perfect minimum, 30 to 40 minutes. 3 sessions, I think, is a great maximum. To be honest, I don't think you have to go much more than that, 30 to 40 minutes. But find the time to give these athletes the frequency to be able to perform these movements with competence. You can't just do it once a week or throw in 10 minutes of core at the end of practice and expect them to be able to be moving in the right direction. It has to be a set amount of time per week that can continue to be a frequency, a touch, so that they can continue to understand how to perform these movements proficiently. Now, another important piece, don't try to impress, don't put your ego ahead of proper technique. It's not about how much you can deadlift, it's not about how much you can bench. Think about range of motion, think about competent, proper technique when performing these movements. If you're doing deadlifts, think about neutral spine and a quality hinge, right? If you're doing any of these other movements, right, really prioritize how your body is moving and is it moving to full range of motion, and you're not putting your ego because you're trying to impress your friend next to you by lifting as much as you can for a bench or a deadlift. That's how you're going to get hurt. That's how you're not going to be able to train in the winter to improve your fitness. And that's what can lead to you not being able to race in the spring, because whether you're not fit enough or you just got hurt doing something dumb in the weight room that you could have prevented just by taking a step back and thinking about quality over how much you were lifting. Those are some of the important things I think athletes need to realize when they're entering the weight room. Again, last thing, strength training is a supplement to our overall workload. Strength training is a supplement to rowing performance. You're not a weightlifter first. You are trying to row at a competitive level or increase your rowing performance. And strength training is supposed to be a tool that can help guide you in that path. You're not going to put it first in your training, but you have to, or you should very well incorporate it into your routine. And I think high school coaches can really do a great job in delivering that message, in keeping the focus when you are in the weight rooms, because so that you can understand its value. Because I think a lot of athletes, if they do not have the proper fundamentals, or they do not have that the expectations set by their coaches, they treat the weight room like a time filler. They're just trying to be there because their coach said to do it, and they're not putting a lot of effort into these movements, a lot of intent into these exercises. That expectation can be properly set if high school coaches are stressing that importance. And I've worked with some high school coaches who do an amazing job of this. I've worked with others who probably can incorporate it a little bit more. But again, you give these athletes the foundation that sets them up for long-term success as people, let alone aspiring college rowers or just really, really competitive high school rowers, because you want to keep them around. You want to keep them available. You want to keep them upright so that they can do what you want them to do in the spring, or do what the team needs of them in the spring. So that's all I got. I can't stress it enough. Dedicating some time throughout your week on a very, very consistent basis to help these athletes become more athletic. Because again, I say it all the time, we are athletes first, rowers second. And these are things that we need to make a conscious effort to continue to evolve in our sport. Because again, college coaches are amazed by the amount of athletes who come in and they have no idea how to perform very, very fundamental movements. That's all I got. This one's a little longer than I previously was anticipating, but I can talk about this stuff all day. Have a great day. Continue to get stronger, continue to get fitter. Let me know if you need anything. I'll talk to you soon. Peace.